Well, I'm here today at Nottingham's Forrest Recreation Ground with Mickey Summers. I'm just going to go sideways on for this, Mickey, because you get a nice backdrop there. And we're here to live stream Jeremy Corbyn, which we're hoping to be doing very, very soon. But Mickey's got something he wants to impart to you all, a letter that he's hoping to get into Jeremy's hands. So go on, Mickey, tell us what this is about.
Last year, when we was down having a parliamentary rally down in London, a letter was handed to Jeremy Corbyn, demanding he come clean on Islington.
Right.
In light of the recent stuff around Keith Vaz, there is a connection with Keith Vaz that is widely known amongst child abuse campaigners of his connection to Richmond Council and Grafton Close and Islington. But notwithstanding that, his connection to Greville Janner. Now, this is all public knowledge. We had concerns because of Keith Vaz being on the Home Affairs Select Committee.
Quite rightly so,
I'm not saying he's a paedophile, but the trail of paedophilia has followed him wherever he goes. And it leaves a lot of questions that need answering. Now, we're here in Nottingham. I say that Nottingham is the bed.
The hotbed of it,
of paedophilia. We have two councils that have been Labour run, and questions need to be asked by the Labour Party. Are they supporting paedophilia?
So, just before you read your letter out now, you are aware that I've been in touch with the Justice for Jill Dando producer, the guy that produced the film with regard to Jill Dando's murder, and he is completely adamant that the name that should be thrown in, the names that should be thrown into the hat for covering up child abuse in Islington isn't Jeremy Corbyn's. Apparently he seems to think it's a scapegoat, and he reckons names like Margaret Hodge and Harriet Harman were bandied around, and that their involvement in Islington was also. Do you know anything about that before you start?
Their names have been submitted to me by many other campaigners. And the question needs to be asked of the whole Labour Party, because we have Greville Janner, we have Keith Vaz, who's followed in his footsteps and defended everything of him as an MP. He's stood by Greville Janner and the family. Well, my question is, well,
let's have a listen to what you've got to say on the actual letter, Mick.
It reads, Dear Mr Corbyn, when you became leader of the Labour Party, I asked what you was going to do on the child abuse in Islington circa 1980s. I raised this again as a concern over another council, notably Richmond, and the connection I believe needs investigation, that of Keith Vaz, who worked for both councils during periods of child abuse, and on the beliefs of Mr Vaz having possible connections to paedophilia, made even more suspicious as his connections and defence of Greville Janner. Secondary, as a survivor of Nottingham's abuses that span 6 decades, I believe an inquiry by your political party into the cover-ups of the Labour Party-run city and county councils would be well appreciated and welcomed here in Nottingham ahead of the IICSA inquiry that is going to make Nottingham a case study. Nottingham hasn't become a case study,
but it is being investigated.
A drop of a hat. That has come out of hard work.
The Nottingham CSA Action Group has brought everything there.
Mandy Coupland, Nigel O'Mara, myself, Jodie Cameron Blair, and
it's come together. That's a lot of hard work.
I need to add you to the frame, Joe.
Oh no, don't worry about me. I pop up at all the right places. One thing I was going to ask you though is it appears apparent now that the whole country is behind Jeremy Corbyn as an individual. And if he were to call a snap general election, which I heard this morning, he said if they called a snap general election, we could probably win it. If we were voting for the man Jeremy Corbyn and his place and his standing, we'd be okay. But we can't vote for a Labour Party that's A, in disarray, as B, full of these red Tories, blue Labour backstabbers that have deliberately tried to sabotage every step of his way. We could vote for Jeremy Corbyn and landslide it, but how can we vote for a Labour Party whilst we've got so many traitors and treacherous, well, want of a better word, alleged paedophiles involved? We've got to understand that although Jeremy has said it's a private matter for Vaz, yeah, although it should be a private matter concerning Vaz and Vaz alone, Vaz tried to procure grade A illegal drugs to buy for the Romanian prostitutes. That's a crime to try to buy drugs for someone else, grade A narcotics, cocaine. Let's use the word cocaine because that's what it was. For other people is a crime. Why do you think that will get addressed by the police in Leicester or the police nationally?
I think it should be looked at.
It should be
as procurement, and I say that as a recovering cocaine addict myself.
Yeah.
Like, I make no bones about it.
Sure, of course, yeah. That's why I asked. I know your history, so I thought I'd ask. But if a man, especially a man who's supposed to overlook the conduct of other MPs, the Home Affairs Select Committee, his job is to overlook the conduct. You know, he was the one that ripped Tom Watson apart over the Janner thing, although Tom Watson has clearly stepped into line with the rest now, because obviously he's got the knives out for Corbyn as well. Can I ask you, if you were to vote for, would you vote for Corbyn the man, not the party? Do you believe in Corbyn?
I'd give it consideration, but I'd give it consideration on merits.
And you'd want some questions answered as well.
I want some serious questions.
So we want, because I'd like some questions as well on the Palestine issue. You know, this anti-Semitism, when it's not anti-Semitism, it's anti-Zionism. You know, it's against this movement that are trying to displace Palestinians and replace them with whatever they call their Jews. That's not anti-Semitism, that's anti-Zionism, and that's a movement, and everyone's entitled to oppose a movement. But with regard to the man himself, if he answered questions on Islington, and if he answered questions on Palestine and Richmond, and they were satisfactory, you'd vote for the man. The man, not the party, because the party's in disarray.
I probably would, but like, we've heard it all from politicians before.
Yeah.
You know, that they'll do this and that and the other, and they deliver nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, this is it. I mean, I think, you know, Corbyn's striking resemblance to Obi-Wan Kenobi there makes me feel like he's a trustworthy man. He's taking a lot of shit. They want him unelectable. There's got to be a reason for that. And so if he can work with the public, it's the public that can put him in power. But we need to know we can trust this man. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And he will do.
And I have to speak for myself and my heart. That, you know, if he's going to come clean for me, he needs to re-raise the issue of Islington. Yeah. He also needs to connect it to Richmond. Yeah. And the slug trail of Keith's Baz. Yeah. And personally, for myself, and for all the survivors here in Nottingham, he needs to address the political agenda behind the cover-ups of both city and county councils. Awesome. 6 decades of child abuse covered up.
Absolutely. Well, just finally, what do you think of Alexis Jay being appointed the new chair of the CSA inquiry?
I'm over the moon over it.
Are you? Yeah.
I have faith based on
her report.
A report into Rotherham, and the fact that she took Rotherham Council down.
Massive. Thank you very much, Mickey, for your time, and hopefully we can get a little bit more with you a bit later on.
All I have got to say from Nottingham is have a nice day.
Yeah, ta-da, man.